Hello! Have you heard? I'm running a Get Creative workshop at ELHAP today. Would you like to join me? Just follow the ELHAP structure into the orchard where you'll find me in the roundhouse. So it's time to get your creative hats on and join me, Vikki, for a Get Creative workshop. Together, we are going to flex our creative and artistic muscles. I can't wait to see you.
Oh, thank you for coming. This is the roundhouse. What do you think? It looks great, right? So thanks so much for coming to our Get Creative session today. Would you like to come inside? Let's go. Hello and welcome to this week's Get Creative session with me, Vikki. Now in this week's Get Creative session, we are getting very creative with some old toilet roll centres, and you might be thinking, oh, that's a bit of a weird material to make something out of, but we're going to give it a go anyway. And using these, we are going to make some lovely flower paintings. And you might be thinking, how do we make a flower painting out of an old toilet roll? But I promise you it can be done. And you just need some toilet roll, and you need a pair of scissors. You need some paint, like this. You need a couple of paintbrushes, some A4 paper, and I needed another bigger paint palette, so I'm just using an extra bit of cardboard that I have to put the paint onto my toilet rolls. So here we go. First of all, I'm going to cut into my toilet roll to make my petals. So here we go. I'm just going to cut straight lines all to the same point with my scissors. And you can go, you can make these quite shallow or you can make them quite deep. It's up to you, but you just make sure they're the same length of cut all the way around. Just going to do this by eye just to estimate where mine are. Here we go. And this is going to make our flower petals in a nice circular shape. And I've got my bright colours ready. I've got orange and purple and red for my flower petals, and I've also got a bit of green for my flower stems. Almost done now. Ooh, I think I am done. And here we have all of our cuts in this toilet roll to make our flower petals. I'm just going to do an extra bit. I think a couple of these are a bit short, so I'm just going to make them a bit longer. There we go. And now we flatten them all out, and then we're going to dip them in some paint and then put them onto our paper. Are you ready? I think I might cut another one to add to this. Now I'm going to make my second petal shape from another toilet roll holder. So for this one, I'm going to do 4 main cuts into my toilet roll. So one this side, and then I turn it round and do one on the opposite side. And then I'm going to do one in the middle of those two and one on the opposite side from there. So I have 4 sections for my 4 different petals, and they're not staying square. I'm going to cut them into some rounded shapes, I think. These are sort of rounded triangle shapes. Like this. And this. There we go. So if I squash those down, I've got my 4 flower petals, slightly pointed flower petals there. So that's my second flower. And I think I'm going to do one more. So this time I'm going to do, instead of 4 cuts, I'm going to do about 6. So here's my first one. Next one after that is opposite. Yep, and then I'm going to do 2 in between. 1, 2, 3. So this one will be, they're slightly narrower flaps. There we go. So I've got 6 flaps now on this flower petal, and these ones are going to be rounded. So I'm going to cut a sort of semicircle around there. So each one is going to turn into a semicircle. You might need a little bit of help with the cutting on this, so ask an adult if you need to. And here I've got some little rounded petals. Lovely. So now I've got my 3 styles of flower, and now I need some colour. So now I'm going to put some colour on these flower petals. So I've got my red here, and I'm going to paint directly onto my flower petals. So here we go. I'm painting all of these flower petals with lots and lots of colour. Might get a little bit messy doing this, but that's fine. I want lots of colour, lots of paint on these. And now I'm going to squash it down on my page. I'm going to squash all of these flower petals down. And gently lift it off. Ah, and there is our first flower. Okay, I might do another one of those if I've got enough paint here. Just brush that all along my petals again, so they're nice and heavy with paint. There we go. Now I'm going to do it again, straight down onto the page. Smush. And I'm going to squish all of these petals down. And lift it off, and there I've got another flower. Now I'm going to have a go at painting another flower to add to my picture. So this one I think is going to be orange. So I'm getting my brush and my orange paint, and I'm going to paint these petals like this. So they're nice and thick with paint, there you go. And then I've got to find a spot for these, so I think up here. And again, I'm going to squish these petals down so the paint comes off onto the page, and gently bring it off again. And you can see I've added my orange flower to my flower scene. Let's have a go with another one. And this time down here, I think you can put your flowers in any arrangement you like. Just think about what colours you like, what shaped petals you would like to use, and what colours you think your flowers could be. Great. Next, I think I'm going to go for my little round petals. So I'm going to clean my brush again, and I'm going to switch to a different colour this time. So I'm going to use purple for this one. So get my paint, get my brush and all my purple paint, and get my paint onto my flower petals. Like that. Get lots of that paint on there. And then this one's going to go right in the middle. Doesn't matter if your flowers overlap, I think it's quite nice really. Like a spring meadow. There we go, there's another one added to my picture. I'm gonna put some more paint on and then use it to fill up the last bit of space on my page. Down here. And squish all of my petals down. Gently lift it off. And here we go, I have some more flowers. But you think it might be missing something, so what I'm going to do is paint some centres in my flowers. And to do that, I'm going to take a smallish brush, medium-sized small brush, and I think I'm going to do different colour centres in them. So I'm going to start off with a bit of orange and just paint a circle into my red flower. And do the other one, just a circular motion to paint circles in my flowers. And then for my orange flowers, maybe I will change colour again. I think for my orange flowers I might put some red centres in. So I've got some red paint left here, and just a circular motion with my brush. And up here, there it is. Clean that again, and then, so here's my flowers and the flower centres, and then in my purple flowers I think I'm going to have orange centres. You can choose whatever colours you like. Let's go for, yeah, orange. Nice big circles. There we go. And now I think I'm actually going to add some green stems to this as well. So I'm cleaned my brush again. I'm going to grab some green paint, and from the centres of the flowers I'm going to draw a line down to the bottom of my page. So you can see here, that's my flower centre, and then I've just got a green line for my flower stem. I'm going to do a few more of these. Maybe one coming down there. And one more, I think. There we go, that's starting to look a lot more like flowers now, and I think it's really fun. Should we try another one? So I have one piece of toilet roll tube left, so I think I'm going to do something slightly different, and I'm going to change the size of the circle to make it a bit narrower, a bit smaller. So what I'm going to do is cut down the whole length of the tube, like this, and I'm going to fold it over a little bit and use some sellotape to re-stick it. Right. Make that a bit narrower and put my tape around the top. So it's a much smaller tube than my original one. So now I'm going to make a few more cuts. Maybe I will do straight petals like the first one I did. So lots of straight cuts all the way around your tube. And there's a little bit of overlap where it's now in a double layer, but that doesn't matter, just cut through it and spread out your petals like you did before. Great, so now I've got a different size flower to add to this page, and now I think this time instead of a landscape I'm going to arrange my page long ways and do a kind of bouquet of flowers. So let's try that. So I will start off with some purple on this one, get all my colour onto my flower petals, ready to print onto my page. Let's see, right, I'm going to start at the top I think and work my way down. So this one's going in the top corner. I'm going to squish all these flower petals down. And lift it off. And there we go, our first flower. Going to get some more purple on there, load up all of these petals again. So there's lots of colour on there, and have another go. So I'm going to put this one slightly lower down on the other side of the page and squish all of my petals down so I get as much of that lovely purple colour on the page as I can. And lift it off. Great, now I think I'm going to have a go with the pointed petals again. So here we go, this is our orange flower. Just going to dry my paintbrush off and grab some of this orange paint. Put loads of it on these flower petals. I love using lots of bright colours together. Let's see, squeeze this one in here. I like it a little bit when they overlap, you know. I think it's quite exciting. And lift that off gently. There we go. I'm going to have another one, I think, in that top corner. Squeeze that on up there and squish my petals down to get all that lovely colour onto the page, and peel it off, and there we go. have some more bright petals. Right, now I think I'm going to have another go at this rounded one, but I think this one has to be purple again, I think, because I've already got a lot of purple on that one. So I'll just add a bit more purple on there. Here we go. And then I'll put that one there. Great. And it overlaps a little bit, but I don't really mind. I think it looks nice. And I think all of the centres in these flowers are going to be bright red. Let's put another one over here. Squish all of those little round petals down. Bring it off. There we go. There we are. There's lots of flowers on the page there. So now I'm going to grab my small paintbrush and I'm going to do those lovely circular centres. So clean that off. Got my small paintbrush. I'm going to go right into my red paint. Get some of that lovely red paint and make some red centres for my flowers. One by one, painting on those bright red centres. There we go. And there's one more thing I need to do, which is add in some green stems. So let's dry this brush and get our green paint. And now I'm going to paint on my flower stems. There we go. Just so that it looks a bit like that, so that you've got the green stem coming from your flower down to the bottom of the page. Another one. There we go. The ones up top, I'm going to do the ones up top, I'll show you. I don't want to go right over that flower, so I'm going in the space and then I'm going to carry on the stem the other side of the flower. Like that. So you can see this stem's going right up to this flower, but I'm not going over the top of that one. And I'm going to do one more for the top one on the top right. Again, I'm just going to do a little bit of stem and then carry on at the bottom. There we go. So you have some really, really colourful, really easy to do flower paintings. Here we have a close-up look of the flower paintings from today's workshop. So you can see all those beautiful colours and that in that lovely painterly texture, complete with centres and stems. And we made these flowers just from simple toilet rolls. So why don't you get creative at home and try your own? And I hope you have lots of fun with this activity, because I know I did. And I will see you next time.